When I sat in the car, you always wonder, what's it going to feel like? It was my first time driving a mid-engine GT car. My thoughts were, wow, this is really good for our first time in a car. I was really surprised by it. You're sitting low, you got the A-pillars at steep angles, the windshield's at steep angles, you can see the fender flares. I think we have a chance to win. Everything's got to go right, but I think we have a car that can win the race or be on the podium. But can you imagine how cool that would be to go back 50 years later to the year and do it?
Hi guys, I'm Scott Speed, driver of this amazing Volkswagen Beetle GRC car. I got good news for the iRacing fam. We got this coming in. I'm currently working on it myself personally to make sure that it is as accurate as possible. With the addition of dirt and now this mean car, it is gonna be so fun. And it's gonna be available free to all the iRacing members. Personally, I can't wait to get out there and race you guys on it.
The V8's Online's live broadcast of the New Zealand and iRacing Formula Renault 2.0 Championship presented by Precision iRacing Team. You're watching the live broadcast of the first round of the championship here on V8's Online at Okayama International Circuit, currently in practice at the moment, gearing up for a 30-lap race here at one of Japan's magnificent racetracks. My name is Reese Gardner. Joining me in the commentary box is Cameron Dance. Hello, Cam. It's time to go single-seater racing again.
Yeah, thank you, Reese. Yes, it definitely is once again, and it's hopefully going to be another good night of racing. As we saw at round 0, it was fairly close at the front end of some very unexpected things happen, but yeah, it should be quite a good field with everybody now here and ready to race.
Yeah, certainly. There's less car damageable bollards here at Okayama than there were at Laguna Seca, but there's an awful lot more heavy braking zones and tight turns, and this track is incredibly smooth. So certainly should be interesting to see some racing around here.
Yeah, it's definitely a much more technical track in terms of the difference between itself and Laguna Seca, with a number of corners that are being quite cambered and off camber as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys set the cars up and also get around the circuit quickly.
Yeah, certainly. Of course, the circuit has a little bit of history in single-seater racing. It actually hosted 2 Formula One races in the mid-1990s as the Pacific Grand Prix, back when it was known as the Tanaka International Circuit AIDA. And 94 and 95, I believe Michael Schumacher won both of those races. So it has some single-seater racing pedigree. It's sort of dropped off from the spotlight more recently in recent years, but fortunately iRacing has it available and we can enjoy racing around it. And we've got currently 22 Formula Renault 2.0 cars registered in this practice session at the moment, with Chris Burgess at the top of the timesheets.
Yeah, it's definitely got the history of the open wheels with F1, but now it's mainly used with the likes of Super GT and Super Formula. But yeah, it's, as far as times go for tonight, it's looking quite interesting. I mean, again, a couple of guys not really where they normally are, as we saw last week, but yeah, it should definitely be interesting with a number of guys that weren't there last week turning up, so I expect that we're going to have a lot closer racing.
Yeah, I think so too. Awful lot of hairpins at this circuit, lots of heavy braking zones, but walls are actually quite close at this track, so you can't really put a foot wrong, and it gets quite narrow in places as well, so you got to really be careful about where you place your car. Having a look at Chris Burgess actually on track at the moment, a little bit of a 3-car fight going on at the moment as Fulton Penny lets him by. And we can use this to sort of get an idea of the kind of racing we can expect. Emily Jones taking a very aggressive line ahead of Chris Burgess through this section of the circuit.
Yeah,
they come up to the 50-meter marker. Yeah, this double hairpin complex at the end of the lap is a place where I think we can see a lot of moves, because there's multiple lines available there, late apexing and such like. Really put one up the inside if you like, but oh, oof. Hello. You can probably expect to have that happen a few more times as well.
Yeah, some of these corners are quite deceiving in that it does require some sort of skill in terms of and thinking of how you approach the corner, especially with the likes of the last corner where it is a double right-hander, but then you've also got to remember that there is a straightaway to get onto.
Yeah, certainly. Having a look at Dylan Shepherd, I think, is a good driver to focus on at the moment for One Performance Racing. He is currently in 3rd place on the timesheets, slipstreaming past his teammate Jeffrey Harley. That's a move we can expect to see happen in the race as well. It's very easy to overshoot that hairpin, especially if you're on the right-hand side of the circuit and you can't see your braking marker. Yeah, as I was saying, the circuit at this point gets super, super tight, and this part of the track's really more about mechanical grip than anything else. I think the first sector is very quick, very flowing, all about keeping it smooth, and having a car with more downforce will definitely be more beneficial. But through this final part of the circuit, you know, as you said, Cam, extremely technical, and mechanical grip will reign supreme through there. But Jeffrey Harley is crossing the line to do a 1 minute 30.142. That is an outlap for him, so this is his first proper lap, and this turn 1 and 2 complex is it's very much a love it or hate it complex. Very hard to pick a line through there.
Yeah, it definitely is, especially with the fact that turn 2 is actually slightly off camber, so you really have to think about that. You can't really just throw it in, but have to think that you actually have to enter it in a way that doesn't make you run wide.
Yeah, certainly. Jeffrey Harley there, getting a lovely slipstream from Shepard. And this left-hander here, this downhill, once again, very hard to pick your line through there. And it's one of those turns that's sort of in between second and third, as is that left-hander that they just went through there. So, extremely challenging to get a car set up right for the circuit gear-wise. Have a look, like, 3 drivers, every single one of them taking a slightly different line through that double hairpin. Incredible stuff. You can't run too far over that curb either, otherwise, on the entry to the pits, otherwise it'll really do some damage. Oh, as Jeffrey Harley goes off.
Yeah, some of these higher curbs can actually bomb the car out, so you do have to be quite careful in terms of how much you actually use of them.
Yeah. Looks like a PB for Rahali there, a 1 minute 24.9 as he rotates. Yep.
That off-cam catching him out by the looks of it.
Yeah, a little bit of a crest at the apex of that turn that can really throw the drivers off. But the schedule, Cam, this is a real packed schedule of fantastic tracks for this championship. Of course, we're at Okayama International Circuit for round 1. At round 2 on the 19th of July next week, we'll be going to Imola. Then round 3 at Suzuka. That's quite the prestigious opening 1-2-3 punch of racetracks, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed it is. All very well-known and famous circuits in some form or another. Obviously, Imola, quite a good track for these cars, and Suzuka also being quite a nice track if you get the car set up quite right. So, yeah, it's definitely a pretty good schedule by the looks of it, and I'm pretty sure all these guys are going to like it.
Yeah, certainly. For round 4, we go to Zandvoort, which is a very old-fashioned track. At least the first half of it anyway. Again, an ex-Formula 1 venue hosting races from the 60s to the 80s. Rolling hills and sandy Dutch beaches await the guys there. But then we come to Circuit of the Americas for round 5, another extremely technical modern venue, much like Okayama. But with a lot more tarmac runoff and with an extremely long lap and a smooth low grip surface with some extremely technical corners. It's challenging to get a car around there, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. It's really a track you have to be on your game and really have to commit to the corner rather than just being 2 corners and then a straight and then a few corners and then a straight sort of thing.
Yeah, certainly. Phillip Island is going to host round 6 on August 16. Fantastic track, obviously, for all of us down here in the Oceania region. One of Australia's and the world's fastest racetracks, and some fantastic flowing turns there. Some slipstreaming and aero push awaiting the field there. But then round 7, I'm actually really looking forward to round 7 because we're going to Alton Park, one of the British tracks. One that's typically known for touring car racing. It's been around since the 1960s. Very narrow, very off-camber, extremely wavy, bumpy sort of racetrack. And yeah, it doesn't have much of a single-seater racing pedigree, but it'll certainly be interesting to see them tackle that.
Yeah, it's quite a interesting track to drive around on Park. It's very technical, as you said, and to get a car around there is very challenging. And yeah, and these cars, they don't really tend to like bumps with a stiffer suspension, but it should really bring out the good drivers in that round.
Yes, indeed. Round 8 at the end of August and round 9 at the start of September is going to be another 1-2 punch of legendary Formula 1 circuits. We're going to Spa and Monza. Going to be low downforce city, those tracks, and you'll definitely see some interesting overtaking moves into that first chicane at Monza, won't you?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be all about racecraft rather than being purely fast with the draft and everything. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting when those 2 rounds come along.
Yeah, and then we go to basically the polar opposite of those big Formula One circuits. We go to Sonoma Raceway, the long layout, very bumpy, very tight, and very slow as well. Basically, the complete antithesis of a track like Monza or Spa. And then we go back to Laguna Seca for round 11. And if the preseason round last week was anything to go by, we'll certainly see a good race there.
Yeah, definitely. Sonoma's probably somewhat similar to Old Park, obviously a little bit more wider in terms of the width of the track, but otherwise it's definitely going to be another driver's track. And Laguna Seca, again, after what we saw last week, it's definitely going to hopefully throw another curveball in the game.
Yep, and to round off the season, in about 12 weeks' time, we go to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve Montreal on the 27th of September. Another classic Formula One circuit, public parkland track on Ile Notre Dame in the city of Montreal in Canada. And, well, you know, those big curbs and chicanes and flowing turns. It's going to throw a few curveballs once again, especially with the walls being as close as they are there.
Yeah, Montreal is probably the closest we're going to get to a street circuit on this calendar, but yeah, these guys are really going to have to put risk versus reward, if not the other way around, depending on the driver, as that is the closing stage of the championship. So it's going to be interesting to see how the guys tackle it and whether they go full out and risk winning it or whether they consolidate a position.
Yep, certainly. Well, that is your schedule for the New Zealand and Australian Formula Renault Championship. Absolutely fantastic schedule, in my opinion. It's got a really good bunch of circuits that have a very good balance of popularity and quality. Of course, you know, a lot of league schedules, you find that there are tracks on them that are only really there because they're famous, and they don't really lend themselves very well to the racing. But I don't think that's the case with this schedule. I think the tracks have been very well chosen for these kinds of cars, and they all lend themselves well to a productive racing environment.
Yeah, certainly.
Well, we're coming up to 8 minutes left in practice. We are on board with Chris Burgess at the moment, having a bit of a tour around Okayama International Circuit. Of course, this circuit, interesting fact about this was actually built as a private motor club. I remember doing a little bit of research on this track back in the day. It was designed as a place for the rich and well-heeled to drive their cars fast, but then they realised that they could make a little bit of extra money by having Formula One at the circuit, and the rest is history. So it's sort of partway between a club circuit and a Formula One circuit. It's a strange hybrid of styles at work here.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's very much a track that you can enjoy, but it also can be a bit love-hate depending on how well you get around it. But yeah, it's quite the track.
Yeah, very smooth as well. I'm actually I'm quite impressed looking at the way Chris is driving around this lap. Just how smooth the surface is. And that turn as you come onto the back straight is definitely one of those turns where it's very much make or break, because you've got this long straight coming up. You can also get on the throttle quite early out of the turn, but you get on it just a little too early and you also mess up your exit. And then, of course, you got the braking zone and this tight hairpin. I think some side-by-side action in this section on the first lap is very much a possibility.
Yeah, it definitely is. A lot of corners that require you to actually think ahead of where you are.
Yeah, that's none more true than this final section, of course, as we've mentioned a couple of times before, the double hairpin. Really got to set yourself up for the exit of the right-hander. Of course, this last turn, it's quite fast, it's quite wide, but you still got to slow down a little bit more than you expect for it. And of course, this very short start-finish straight to finish a lap at Okayama. So going to Jack Bell at the moment, currently in 13th on a 25.196. Just starting another hot lap now. Jack Bell, of course, for Synergy Sim Racing, was the winner last week in the pre-season round at Laguna Seca, so he's obviously feeling quite comfortable in that car, and obviously one of the challenges to Scott Newton. Of course, Newton was robbed of his victory somewhat by taking the first turn at Laguna Seca a little too spiritedly and damaging his car with some bollards. And of course Bell was able to take advantage of that, but it'd be interesting to see what Bell can do here.
Yeah, Jack's going to have quite a bit of confidence coming into tonight with the fact that he did manage to do quite well at the pre-season round at Laguna Seca, so it's going to be interesting. But with a number of guys like Chris Lazarevic, for example, he's also quite quick, so it's going to be interesting to see how he fares up against a number of these other guys that are only showing up tonight.
Yeah, of course, we didn't see a field last week that was very representative of the full field for this championship, it being a pre-season round and all. So this is really the first kind of real glimpse that we're going to get of how the season's going to play out in terms of who is where, and what drivers are going to do. So Jack Bell then goes to 7th on a 24.79. That's quite the impressive time.
Yeah, about 6 tenths off what Chris Burgess is doing at the moment in practice, so quite close in terms of times throughout the field, actually. It's pretty much a second from first to about 13th, so not too bad of a spread, actually.
Yes, indeed. Scott Newton on screen at the moment, coming onto the back stretch. Looks like he is going side by side with Dylan Shepherd down the back stretch. See if Shepherd can put a move on him here at the hairpin. Newton's going defensive, practicing some of their racing moves. It looks like Newton managed to pull it up very nicely. And it's so easy to try and serve one up the inside at that left-hander, but often it'll come back to bite you.
Yeah.
Going through the double hairpin, you can see Shepherd's attempting to do the old late apex trick, but it seems his car's rotating a little too much for his liking.
Possibly just a little bit too much right foot.
Yeah, just a bit. As we were discussing last week, Cam, these Formula Renault 2.0 machines are interesting racing cars. They're only a junior Formula type racing car, so a very common stepping stone up to Formula 1 and the like, but they've got a 7-speed transmission mated to a 2-litre 4-cylinder Renault engine, which is quite an interesting combination. There's an awful lot of flappy paddle gear shifting going on around a lap in these things.
Yeah, indeed. I'm not exactly sure what the goal of the 7-speed gearbox was, as they were previously a 6, but it does definitely make it interesting in the fact that you've got one more gear to play with, just in case you need it.
Yeah, certainly. Looking at Riley Blythe at the moment, currently trying to get past Brent Parker. See if he can send one up the inside here. It can be done, and it looks like it is going to be done. Oh, question is, can Riley how nice and stable through the center of the turn? Like he just managed to get away with it.
Very nice exit too.
Yeah. Out onto the start-finish stretch he goes. Like a very nice, clean last half of the lap from Riley Blythe. 25.5 from him, so that's a second off his personal best currently. Meanwhile, just moved up into 8th, Fulton Penny. Guy that we haven't seen very much of before. Doing very well for himself there in 8th place at the moment.
Yeah, indeed he is driving for Precision iRacing team. He has done a bit of real-life racing himself. I haven't actually done or seen much in terms of what he's raced, but I have heard through the grapevine that he does quite well.
Very nice. Like he's got that car well hooked up. A little bit of a slide on the entry to the final turn. What's this lap going to be like? 25.3. So, again, not quite the representative time.
Yeah, not quite. He's also just looped it up turn 2.
About to go checkered flag in this session. Got about 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2, 1, and that is the hour mark done. So practice is well and truly over. So the drivers are going to have to return to the pits and begin their 15-minute qualifying session very, very soon. There we go. The session has officially ticked over, and it is qualifying time here at Okayama.
Yes, and if it's anything to go by last week, it's going to be very, very close indeed.
Yep, Dylan Shepherd, the first person out on track, and the very conservative outlap so far, going through the first 2 turns.
Yeah, these guys will need to do a bit more work than they did last week, with it being a little bit colder in terms of track temps. So getting those tyres up will take about a few laps before they're really at optimal temperature.
Yes, of course, but of course the upside to that is there isn't going to be much of a tyre drop-off with the cooler temperature, so a bit of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, indeed.
So Shepherd just pulling over and letting by the first couple of runners. That was Chris Burgess and AJ Bear that he's behind. We'll stay with Burgess for this this first qualifying lap. Get a bit of a perspective on what the qualifying pace is going to be. Of course, Burgess topped the practice session timesheets. Out of the final turn he goes, and ready to start his first qualifying lap. Oh, that looks smooth.
Yeah, he's look very good at the moment.
Hard on the brakes for right-hander up the hill.
Looking like a very good exit as well.
Yeah, look at the gap he's pulled on AJ already over the course of this lap.
Yeah, definitely shows us that he's got quite a lot of pace.
Oh no!
Oh,
There we
he's on the
go.
fence.
Lap over. Oh, goodness me, that's a shame.
Yeah, that was quite a good lap as well by the looks of it.
Yeah, he just ran a little too wide in that left-hander. Missed the curb. AJ Bear, though, just coming through the double hairpin section. Right-hander is flat out, if you can get it right. A little bit of rotation, just hitting the grass on the entry, but he manages to exit the final turn nice and cleanly. What's this going to be from AJ Bear? A no time, so he got an off track on that one. Well, it looks like Dylan Shepherd has gone to P1 on a 25.0. Emily Jones now to P1 on a 24.9. Times are flowing in. Mark Dean to 4th. Van Velsen to 3rd. Stenberg now to 4th. Kurt Stenberg, a 26.1. Well, Rolf Just, meanwhile, coming through the last turn. One of the internationals in this field. Gonna cross the line maybe a little off the pace, a 1 minute 29.6. That does put him 8th, but we'll have to wait and see more towards the end of the session how that's going to turn out. Jordan McDonnell now on screen at the moment, our league admin and organizer coming down the back stretch. Currently sitting in 13th, but that time that is currently on the board is his outlap time.
Oh, and he's just touched the grass and lost it.
Ah, that's a shame. And it's such an easy thing to do here at Okayama. Is you know, those heavy braking zones, you've got to be so on edge on the entry to the corner. Brock Salmon on screen though. The tiniest little mistake can make or break a lap.
Yeah, especially in qualifying where you're trying to use every inch of the road you possibly can.
So Emily Jones, Edward Van Velsen back to first at the moment. Chris Lazarevich up and do third at the moment. Riley Blythe goes first as well. So times are just flowing in at the moment. Looks like a bunch of different names assuming the top of the timesheets.
Yeah, it's starting to come out of the bag now.
Burgess finishing a lap now. Chris Lazarevich goes back to P1 in the meantime. So let's see what Chris Burgess can pull out on this lap. He's coming down the start-finish. We'll cross the line to set a 124.391. That is going to put him in position number 3. Scott Newton, meanwhile, currently the last person to set a time. Hasn't had much of a session so far. It's already been 6 minutes gone this session, so time's flown by. While Emily Jones going back to second as Newton spins.
Newton spins it. I think these guys are getting caught out this session.
Yeah, with the amount of drivers on the track and the amount of rubber being laid down, it's definitely going to introduce a little bit more heat to the circuit, which will result in some slipperier car behavior.
Yeah.
Have a look through the field and see if anyone has not set a lap yet. Looks like Wayne Burke is coming up to the end of an outlap as he passes Emily Jones, who's just gone off the circuit. Wayne Burke, of course, another Synergy Sim Racing driver who has had more than his fair share of success.
He's also running in V8 Scops as well, doing quite well in that.
Well, he uses the final turn nice and cleanly, doesn't kick up any dust. See how he goes on this lap. So a lap around Okayama. Oh, he runs wide in turn 1. That's not what you want to see. That'll have cost him maybe half a second or something like that.
Yeah, I would say so.
Looking up the top though, Chris Lazarevich they managed to get back up. Oh wait, Scott Newton. Wow.
Wow.
That's quite the
Very
time
quick.
from Scott Newton. Wow, 24.088. So that's under 2/10 to the next car. And around a track like Okayama, that's a fair amount. Top 5 are separated by only 0.3 of a second. That is that's some crazy numbers. Only a second separating the top 15.
Yeah, it's starting to... I'm starting to have flashbacks of V8 Scops at Watkins Glen now.
Yeah. Wayne Burke running wide at the last corner. Emily Jones spinning out of the last corner. Wayne Burke's time didn't count on that lap, so going to be take 2 for him. Back on screen though, Chris Burgess coming through the final section of the lap. Oh, he's having to slow down a bit. I think he's just gearing up for another lap, giving himself some room. Trying to. Scott Newton's just gone faster again, a minute 24.042 now. Well, we'll see if the rest of the top 5 have anything to say about that. As we see McDonald making his way through the last section of the lap. He's currently in 8th place, picking up a little bit of dust on the exit curb. Crosses the line to set a 24.736, so unfortunately not an improvement. It looks to me as though Lazarevich isn't out, Jones is, Blythe is also out on a lap, and Burgess is as well, so Scott Newton on screen once again, see if he can make any improvements. I seem to recall that last round, Cam, there were drivers doing quite long runs in qualifying to try and get the best out of these cars.
Yeah, and it was quite interesting. Well, Scott Newton's lost it, put it in the tyre barrier. That's quite a hard hit.
Goodness me. So we go to Riley Blythe.
But anyway, continuing on. Yeah, it was quite interesting to see the guys do quite long runs last week. So it's going to be interesting to see whether they can do even longer this week with a much cooler track team.
Indeed, Riley Blythe, facing a little bit of difficulty coming out of the last corner. That was Rolf Just there with him. Blythe sits a 24.6, so that's not an improvement for him. Chris Burgess, meanwhile, moves up to 4th on a 24.310. Like Brock Salmon is on a lap at the moment. Brock is down in 14th at the moment on a 24.9. Having a little bit of trouble hooking the car up. Exact apex in the last part of the circuit. Might be an outlap. We'll see what happens here. Oh, runs wide out of the last turn.
I'd say so.
Yeah, that's definitely an outlap for Brock Salmon, and now at the start of this hot lap he is facing a little bit of traffic. That's Parker in front of him there. Maybe a tiny bit of aero push in this section of the circuit. Oh, who's that spun there?
That was Benny Gill. Yeah.
Brock Salmon making his way past Parker. Parker was attempting to get out of the way, but of course there was Gill there on the side of the track, so it had to wait a couple of corners. We got a minute and a half left now in the qualifying session, so getting to the last chances that these drivers are going to get to try and move up.
Yeah, it's going to be probably, I'd say, a couple of guys will be wanting to get that last possible lap and just so they can try and improve. on their times.
Oh, goodness me. In the final corner. That's a bit interesting. I think Brent Parker isn't having much luck with people coming up behind him in this session so far. Riley Blythe on screen at the moment. So... oh, Blythe just a little bit twitchy on entry.
With a bit of a lock-up as well, try and push the limits of that braking. Oh, and a bit of a twitch there as well.
Yeah, these very stiff cars definitely get on the wrong side of them very quickly, but Riley Blythe, a little bit of a messy end of the lap, but we'll see where that puts him. A 24.268, so that puts him up to third.
Very nice lap.
Emily Jones now coming across the line. The checkered flag is now out. Like Jones was lifting off there. Chris Burgess, meanwhile, across the line, see what he can do. A 26.2, so no improvement there. While Brock Salmon, what his final posted lap is going to be.
24.7.
24.7. Okay,
10th.
10th place.
Not bad.
Very good there in the dying moments of the session. While Jeff Rahali, facing a little bit of trouble out of the final corner.
That's going to have cost them.
Yeah, it will. And Rahali slows right down, right at the end. Wayne Burke manages to put himself up to 10th place. A 24.684. Just knocking Brock Salmon out of the top 10 at the final second. Alright, well, that's the grid basically decided. A 24-car grid here at the moment in Formula Renault 2.0. So Scott Newton has taken pole with Chris Lazarevich in second place, Riley Blythe third, Emily Jones fourth, Chris Burgess fifth, Jack Bell sixth, Dylan Shepherd seventh, eighth, Edward Van Velsen, Jordan McDonnell in ninth, and rounding out the top 10, Wayne Burke.
Then we go back to Brock Salmon in 11th, 12th, Robert Northway, 13th, Jeff Rahali's, 14th is Kurt Stenberg, 15th, Joseph Falcamara, 16th, Fulton Penny, 17th, AJ Bear, 19th, Mark Peter Dean, 20th, Aidan Sinclair, 21st is Benny Gill, and 22nd is Rolf Hust.
And Brent Parker did not set a time. Cameron Freeman will not be starting the race due to internet issues. So now we just need to wait an extra minute or so for the lights to come up, and we'll be getting ready to go racing here at Okayama. 30-lap race. This should take about 45 minutes to finish up. I'm looking forward to it. Predictometer, Jay Kennedy says, is 42 minutes and 7 seconds, so we'll see just how that goes. We'll see how right or wrong that is at the end of the night, but drivers are loading onto the starting grid now. That was a very nice pole lap from Scott Newton, though. Fantastic stuff.
Yes, very quick. He's probably going to be quite hard to beat in the race here. Although Chris is probably going to give him a good run for his money, hopefully.
Yep, we'll see how it all pans out. Now, all of the drivers have taken the grid, and we will be waiting now for the lights to come up. Ready to go racing in Formula Renault 2.0. Here at Okayama.
We're green.
And look at the start from Lazarevich. He managed to get a bit of a jump in the first phase. Riley Blythe moves to cover. Oh,
he's got him. Oh, Scott's going to go around the outside. All cold tyres.
McDonnell,
one car off in the back car.
One up the inside. Oh no, who's that? Oh, Edward Van Velsen. That's our first casualty. Yeah, but he's still going. Looks like Dylan Shepherd and Jack Bell battling quite a bit. Have a look at Bell, though. He's going to try and make a move here on Chris Burgess. He's going to get it done. Burgess stuck on the outside. Shepherd, almost making side-by-side contact. Side-by-side at the front, though. Have a look at this. Scott Newton trying to take the lead back from Chris Lazarevich. Not able to do it, though. Lazarevich able to hold
Blythe's
it.
up the
Looks
inside.
Like Newton's going to lose another spot here.
Or maybe he's going to hold on to it, actually.
Oh, geez, okay. Little bit of extra traction, not bad at all.
Oh,
Blythe, though.
Blythe's trying.
Got a big crash back in the field, though. We're hearing Brock Salmon involved. Chris Burgess as well. Let's have another look at that, see what happened there. It was coming down into the hairpin. Looks like...
It looks like
there were
Wayne
a
was
few
tapped.
cars off.
Yeah, Burgess looking like he made a little bit of contact with Burke and then Brock with nowhere to go, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is a real shame for those guys. Really unfortunate. So that's top runners basically out of the running.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Meanwhile, have a look at the gap that Lazarevich has pulled. That's absolutely
that's
insane.
quite a gap already.
Yeah. So, second, third, and fourth. That's Riley Blythe, Scott Newton, and Emily Jones currently glued together. Newton is going to go to the outside, try and fire it around the outside at the hairpin. It can be done. Riley Blythe, though, with the defensive line. Oh, they almost bang wheels. They're going to go side by side again. Yep.
Good thinking there.
Yep, very good stuff. Always best to keep it together. But now...
Emily Jones not too far behind, looking like she's possibly got some pace to get by.
Yeah, who knows? We might have to wait and see. Scott Newton having a little bit of a problem under throttle outside, on the exit, of the hairpin. Getting a little tongue-tied here. I'm just noticing. Blythe.
That's very
through
wide.
The grass that he did not need. So, meanwhile, Brock Salmon in the pits, and it looks like Jeff Rahali is out of the race as well. I wonder if that has something to do with the earlier incident on lap 1. Edward Van Velsen off track again. I'm noticing back in the field. Okay.
Big crash for Jordan McDonnell.
That is really bad there. Managed to keep it off the wall, though. That's quite impressive. Looks like he just lost it on his own. Turn 2 strikes again. We're just getting a replay of that now. Just, coming over the crest and getting a little unsettled. May have got the right rear on the grass at the entry. Who knows? That's either way. Interesting incident, but back up the front, though. Dylan Shepherd's gotten past Emily Jones. Saw how that happened. Have a look at Riley.
Almost contact as well.
I could see that coming from last lap. At that corner, that left-hand hairpin, Riley Blythe is so much more aggressive under the brakes. I wonder if Newton might have come away with a slight bit of damage due to that. It did seem that there was a bit of contact. I don't know.
Yeah, he may have. If he did, it's very minor though.
Well, it definitely seems that Riley Blythe's strength at the moment is passing under brakes.
Yeah, he's looking very confident at the moment, although Scott's not too far behind, and I'd say he's probably going to have a look at the end of the straight here as Riley locks up a little bit.
Yep, that's sent him wide. That's going to send Newton up the inside on exit, but he won't have as much of a draft as he would. See, there we go. He gets back into the draft to get the run. Running
Pulls
as
out
close
up
as
the
he possibly
inside.
can.
And Scott's lost
no, huge contact, so they're going to have to take avoiding action behind him, and Riley Blythe has got damage now to his car. So,
yeah, that's going to hurt him.
Goodness me, this is going to promote Dylan Shepherd into second.
Oh, and Scott Newton's way back in the field now.
Got a replay
He's
of
all the
that
way down
incident on
14th.
screen. Oh, that's a real shame for him. Losing it on the inside of the hairpin, and yeah, I don't think Riley had anywhere to go. His car was loaded up. Not
Yeah.
much he could do. He did try to take a bit of avoiding action, but unfortunately it was too late.
Yeah, quite unfortunate. It looks like Shepard's going to be able to just blast by now with that fresh front wing compared to Blythe's.
Yeah, certainly the right-hand side of Blythe's car is looking a fair bit crumpled. Obviously not what you want, so going back live, the next two people behind Riley Blythe are Jack Bell and Emily Jones. So remains to be seen just how much pace Blythe has in terms of numbers, but you can see visually when he...
Oh,
no! Oh, okay.
Oh,
and
there was Jones
is
been taken
involved in that
with!
as well. Oh my goodness. Oh, really? That, oh man. I don't even know what to
dear.
make of that. I think, I get the feeling Jack Bell might not have been too aware of Blythe's situation. I don't know. But either way, those are other top runners out of the race.
Yes, unfortunately.
Jones is in the pits. She's done. He had absolutely nowhere to go there. I think going to replay just quickly. Let's have another... Well, we're back live now, but wow.
It looks like Kurt Stenberg's actually lost 2. No, he's only lost 1 position so far to Font Penny. He's about to lose 2 though if he's not careful.
So yeah.
Well, Griffin's up the inside. And he's
Griffin,
looking like he's got the move done.
Yep. Fair pack back here. Got AJ Bear, Joseph Falcomata, Stenberg and Gardner all there in a 4-car train, and just behind them they've got the recovering Jack Bell. An odd move that Jack made. He sort of, in the braking zone, he came back onto the line behind Blythe, and that was what ended up causing the contact. I'm not quite sure what was going on there.
Yeah,
Well, Scott Newton. Oh, Bell just straight ahead at the hairpin. My goodness. I think yeah, he just dipped his left-hand side tires into the grass, and yeah, I think that's put paid to his race as well.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Kurt Stenberg and Griffin Gardner, it looks like Stenberg's managed to get past Gardner here. See if Gardner can fire one up the inside of the hairpin. No, looks like he's gonna... Oh, Stenny,
but he's got a good run.
Yeah, Stenny, a little bit too much rotation. Oh. Guys will be absolutely on edge at the moment. Due to various circumstances in this race, it's going to be not just a battle for a lower top 10 position, it's going to be a battle for a top 6. While Fulton Penny passes Riley Blythe.
Yeah, Riley's going backwards very quickly now with that damaged front wing.
Yep. Bit of damage in the rear as well, which was a real shame for Riley. Oh, have a look at how much Stenberg closes up under brakes. And, yeah, Blythe is really lacking pace at the moment. I don't think the people behind him are going to be too happy with our lack of pace, but Stenberg's just going to go right on by down the straight. No trouble at all.
At a 5k an hour difference in top speed as well, so that's just how much it's affecting well. But Blythe's coming back.
Yeah, I think Stenberg overshot the hairpin just slightly.
Oh, Gardner's all over the back of Blythe now.
There we go. Well, Riley Blythe was aggressive under brakes at this turn, but I feel like Griffin Gardner can afford to be a bit more aggressive. He's going to go up the inside. Blythe going to hold it. He's going to have a go. Oh, no. Dropped once again. Blythe really struggling.
Yeah, once the aero gets damaged in this Formula Renault race car, it tends to affect you quite severely.
Well, AJ Bear and Joseph Falcomata on screen at the moment. AJ just weaving down the straight, not sure why. So now,
probably to clean his tyres from going off just before, out of the final corner.
Very true.
Oh, when he runs wide again.
He's going to have to do it again, unfortunately. AJ looking a little scrappy on this part of the lap. But Riley Blythe is in the firing line for Falcamata. They're going to have to stay behind through this turn, and it's going to be the straight where they get past him once again. The 5-car train here behind them, and at the very end of it is Scott Newton.
Yes, Scott coming through the field quite nicely now. As Falcamata gets by Blythe, and now AGB is going to look like he's going to get by.
Oh, this could end badly. Oh, AJ Bear off once again.
Ooh.
That's go.
Burke's up the inside. McDonald was not far behind.
Oh, yeah.
And so is Newton. McDonnell's going to go up the inside of AGB, and yes, he is. Newton's going to follow him through as well.
Wow, it's not been a very good lap for AJ Bear, unfortunately. Oh, just taking a little too much curb on the inside of the hairpin. Now, Scott Newton will be looking to get by him at some point in the very near future. While, yeah, it looks like the gap up the front. Ooh, Chris Lazarevich about 8 seconds ahead of Dylan Shepherd now. That's quite unfortunate. It looked like there was going to be a really good battle within the top 5, but then they all took each other out. So that's obviously not what we want to see, but still, the action is currently back in the field.
Yeah, that's quite unfortunate.
Looks like Burke and McDonald have gotten past Blythe, and Newton is going to be next.
As McDonnell goes up the inside of Burke, and Newton follows him through.
Well, here we go. Burke's going to have the inside here, though.
Blythe's looking.
Penny.
Oh, Penny spun it just before as well as they've gone past.
Going to try and get that going again. A little bit of a replay of that. See what happened there. It looks like he just lost it on his own.
Yeah, it's looked like he's just coming to the corner. It's just suddenly over-rotated on him.
Real shame, but fortunately he's managed to get it going again. Like he is having a little bit of trouble with the rear, though. Well, going back live, Riley Blythe continuing to fall back. Looks like AJ Bear is going to get by him at turn 1. Have a look, you can see the difference in corner speed and how much aggression actually employ.
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
Oh, have a look at McDonald up the inside of Falcamata. Wow.
And Burke's not far behind.
Yep, I'll have a look here. Falcamata's got a tiny bit of a run on McDonald, though, down the straight. Are they going to fight each other into the hairpin? I think so. Oh, no, it looks like it's going to be 2 overtaking moves being made at once here. This could end really badly. It looks like Newton is going to go by...
Scott done. No? Yes, he's got it done.
Yes, had to go a little bit wide to avoid Falcamata's front wing, but managed to get it done. So... That's a double overtake there for Scott Newton, continuing to make his way up the field. Oh, have a look at Burke. Ooh,
Burke's going to go around the inside.
Yeah, now he's
going to get it up the inside.
Oh.
Move done.
Very nice. I love that move. I love the fact that you can do that in that section of the track. Fantastic.
Yes, it's always very satisfying to pull that move.
We'll have a look at McDonald and Newton. Newton is going to outbrake McDonald into turn 1, and that is done before the apex, basically. Awesome battling going on back in the field here. Wondering if McDonald will be able to stay with Newton at all. Here we go, have a look at this. He's going to have the draft. Can he get the run?
He's closing very quickly. He's going to look around the outside.
Newton staying squarely in the middle of the road on the run up to the hairpin. A little bit of a lock up is going to keep the position, though.
Ooh, Newton went a little bit wide there.
Ooh,
Oh, he's run
dear.
wide there as
Okay.
well.
Well, he's gonna get McDonald back here. Oh, have a look. Both of them struggling for grip. Wayne Burke now, right at the end of this. This is a three-way battle once again. See if Scott Newton can gap these guys. Oh, hold on a minute. Have a look at Burke here on the
Burke's up
inside of McDonald. That's going to be moved done, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, McDonald is going to stay with him, though. Wow, this this race certainly hasn't been lacking in action, has it?
No, it hasn't.
Right, so Wayne Burke exiting with McDonald in tow. McDonald obviously is going to get that monster draft. See if he can fire it up the inside of the hairpin. He's going to go for it. Well, Burke's coming back on him. Not quite. Oh, here we go.
Ooh.
They're just struggling to maintain control of their cars through that section of the circuit. The grip just falling away.
Yeah, the undulation is probably catching them out a little bit.
So coming now out of the last corner to finish their lap 12. Away we go. Who's that behind Burke? That is Joseph Falcamata. He's managing to stay in touch with these guys. Meanwhile, Scott Newton, have a look at the gap he's pulled already.
Yeah, you'll definitely be on a chance to try and recover as many positions as possible.
He hasn't got far to go until he gets to Griffin Gardner and Kurt Stenberg.
No, he hasn't actually. He's doing quite consistent and quick times at the moment. Even though he's been in traffic the entire time. 24s and low 25s by the looks of it.
Very good pace from Scott Newton. Having a look, though, back at position 7, it looks like Donald trying to defend a tiny bit from Wayne Burke. Of course, we have the tyre smoke kicked up at the hairpin en masse. Always in that section of the circuit, Burke is just able to get a little bit closer. I'll tell you what, it'd be so tempting for Burke or Falcamata to try and throw one up the inside here.
Yeah, indeed.
See if Burke will do it at turn 1. Out of the final turn they go. Of course, all the dust getting kicked up by drivers going a little beyond the curb. Burke going to dive at turn 1? No, he's not. He's going to stay behind, wait for another opportunity. Of course, through these sweeping opening sets of turns, really the advantage that you have if you're the lead car, you don't have that aero disturbance messing with your front grip.
Yeah, and it definitely helps to have the confidence to know you've got the grip to go through the corner rather than have to back out of it.
Fulton Penny in the wall once again. Oh, huge damage on his car. Yeah, we'll see how that managed to happen. Looks like he already had rear wing damage. Not sure what from.
Yeah, and then it's looking like he's hit the curb and it's unbalanced the car.
I see what's happened. It was earlier on in the lap at the double hairpin. It was another spin on his own, unfortunately. Just hit the curb and it over-rotated. Damaged his rear wing, and obviously his car is basically undrivable now.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So we're looking at a replay of that incident. He hit the wall pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised he's still able to drive.
Now Benny Gill's off the track. Like it might be, yeah, it might be the same kind of spin. Another over rotation. But meanwhile, Scott Newton's gotten past Griffin Gardner, and he is about to get Stenberg getting on board with Newton as he chases down yellow car of Stenberg.
That'll be for 4th position as well. So it's recovered quite well indeed.
Have a look at the gain under brakes. That's incredible. Wow, that is fantastic. Scott
He's
Newton
definitely pushing.
obviously incredibly confident on the brakes. See if he can fire one up the inside now. He knows he has the confidence in his car, but yeah, obviously better to just wait for a move. See if he can try and do the over-under. Nope. Meanwhile, Chris Lazarevich has done the fastest lap of the race, a 24.055. That is almost as quick as Newton's pole lap. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it
Look at
actually
Scott
is.
Newton. Get past Stenny at turn 1.
Yes, he does very... Oh, Stenny... Nope, he's got the move done very well.
It looked like Stenny went into that turn quite hard. Newton has managed to get past him. Of course, we're at the halfway point in the race now. Everyone's on lap 16 or thereabouts. Scott Newton, I think, as we see McDonald and Burke on screen once again battling hard, but Newton, he's about 24 seconds or so behind Lazarevich, and I doubt he'll be able to make that up by the end of the race. Who knows, though?
Yeah, he's going to definitely get a podium at this rate by the looks of it. But whether he can catch Chris or not is going to be an interesting one.
He's still looking at the battle between Burke and McDonald. Guys are absolutely neck and neck. Only about a 10th separating them in terms of lap time, or thereabouts. Have a look at how close Burke gets in this final section of the track. Once again, it's just a case of like the first sector of the circuit. The McDonald sliding ever so slightly. First section of the circuit, you've basically got no other choice than to stay behind. Your real opportunity for making a move is either out of this turn or into the next one. See if Burke can get close enough. Burke just doesn't have the run on McDonald that he needs.
Yeah.
While Scott Newton pressuring Robert Northway for 3rd position. So let's have a look at lap times here. Robert Northway has been doing mid-25s for the last few laps. Like, oh, he's going to go defensive on Newton. Was Newton going to try around the outside? I think he might. Northway gives him a little bit of room, but Newton tucks back in behind. Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, boy. This is going to be an outbraking maneuver, isn't it? No.
No, sits behind. Oh, I see what he's doing. He's trying to get the run up through down the back stretch.
Yeah.
Very good thinking.
Like Northway's been unsettled enough that can just slide in up the inside and take the position at the hairpin. Oh, look at Northway.
Pretty even
though.
braking.
Yeah. Have a look at Northway though. He's
Oh, he's holding on. Oh, there's
little bit of
contact.
Oh man. They just locked wheels there for a second. Looks like Northway's compromised and Newton is going to try and get by him here. Tell you what, Northway is defending like there's no tomorrow. Look at him, he's going to go up the inside once again here.
He's
Ooh,
trying to hold
the
on.
exit.
He's not going to let this podium go lightly.
Wow.
Scott's gone around the outside almost. Oh, and there's more contact.
Oh, goodness me.
Oh.
Netcode saved them there.
Oh, now Stenberg's
But have
going to
a
come
look at
back.
Stenberg. Stenberg's got to run on both of them. I don't think he'll get by Northway for sure, but not Newton.
Yeah, probably not, as Northwick tries to come back at Stenny, but Stenny's got the run.
Wow, okay, so that was a very entertaining half a lap. Wondering if Newton might have a little bit of invisible damage from those couple of bumps. These cars,
Maybe.
These cars aren't exactly fragile vases, but they are still very sensitive to damage. So we'll have to wait and see. Griffin Gardner, meanwhile, fighting with Jordan McDonald.
Oh, as Griffin
Oh.
just about runs into the back of Jordan there.
It looks like these guys are caught up to Griffin, and Griffin is now splitting the battle between Burke and McDonald. Here we go. Gardner's just going to go to the side and let Burke by. Wondering if he got a slowdown. I'm not sure.
Maybe
Wait.
damage. Oh, and Brick just about
Oh.
loses it too. Oh.
Those curbs are so misleading. Like they seem very inviting. They're nice and flat. You're thinking, yeah, I can run over them, but you do, and you do just a little too much, and amazingly, they spin you around.
Yeah.
Well, Chris Burgess having to make a pit stop, it seems.
Maybe not enough fuel.
Maybe he has a little bit of damage. Wasn't that accident at the start earlier? Maybe he was repairing the damage, but back in about 14th position, he's got Mark Dean behind him. Made his own way up from 19th. Forward with Wayne Burke at the moment as he's drafting Jordan McDonald down the back straight. Have a look at the battle just up ahead, though. Kurt Stenberg and Scott Newton really going for it up there. Stay with this battle for a second. Just Stenberg really threatening to make moves on Newton, and you see Newton running wide there. Certainly not
Yeah.
what he'd be wanting.
No, he might actually have damage, or he might be struggling with his tyres. Not sure.
Got 10 laps to go, though. See what happens later on in that lap, but Wayne Burke and Jordan McDonald still very much on. Benny Gill once again off the track. It was the old spot, the left-hand hairpin near the end of the lap. Just a little bit of over-rotation. Not having a very good race is Benny.
No, he's not, unfortunately.
Wait, back live. Burke looking at McDonald. Linked just a tiny bit. I know that McDonald was having concerns about his internet earlier. Have a look just up ahead of him. That's Robert Northway. And if the way he defended against Scott Newton was anything to go by, this will get juicy.
Yeah, it's bound to get very interesting. Oh, McDonald's lost it!
Uh-oh. Yeah, and Burke's going to go by. McDonald leaving him just enough room on the outside. So now we wait and see to see if McDonald will try and get back by him. Our director is reporting he's just heard someone blow up. Unsure of what that is. But we'll just go to a replay very quickly of the Jordan McDonnell incident.
Gardner's now all over the back end of McDonnell here.
Yeah, I think he's going to go by at the hairpin. Oh, McDonnell's going to fight it, though. We're back live, though. Having a look here at what has once again become a three-car battle. Wayne Burke, I think, has got the rocket under his heels and is trying to gap McDonnell so that he doesn't have to deal with him too much.
And he's got Northway in front of him, so we wanting to try and get a top 5 finish here.
Been a real
Burke was actually
topsy-turvy
quick at that
race.
last lap as well.
Well, Scott Newton's just done the fastest lap of the race, a 23.9, so officially gone faster than his pole lap.
That is very quick.
And we're hearing from the director at the rate he is catching Dylan Shepherd, he might get him on the last lap. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. 9.7 seconds gap and he gained 2 on the last lap. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So it looks like the battles that we were watching earlier have just spaced out a bit equally, coming down the back straight. Look back through the field, it's it really has been quite the race so far, hasn't it, Cam? We've had incidents up the front. We've had people getting in clashes and getting taken out, and everything's happened in this race.
Yeah, it sure has, with all sorts happening from the start of the race till even now.
Yep, and it's not over yet. We've got we've only got Lazarevich is on lap 24, so that's 7 to go. While Newton gaining another 8 tenths on Dylan Shepherd. Now that Newton is free of the rest of the field that he was having to make his way through, he is really putting the hammer down to try and consolidate that podium position, possibly get a second, get as many points as he can out of this. Tell you what, he hasn't exactly made it easy for himself this race.
No, he hasn't.
But Wayne Burke now is caught up to the back of Robert Northway. Denberg just up ahead of them, like he's maintaining his position well.
Oh, McDonnell's spell in the background.
Oh no. Real shame. That's deserving of a replay. We're gonna have another look at that.
It's looking like he's just got loose as well, like Fulton did earlier in the race.
Yeah, oh man. The old over-rotation problems, like one of those old death slides. Real shame.
Oh,
Well,
Northway's gone defensive.
Oh, love this. Burger's going to have to be forced around the outside. We'll see if he can do a Northway on Northway.
Oh, and he's going to go around the outside. He is side by side.
Just
he's going to have the inside here.
Wow.
Oh, there's contact between Northway. Northway's gone off.
Oh, wow. Okay. So,
oh, Northway's got severe damage.
Oh, big damage from Northway.
Yeah, that'll will not be happy.
Yeah, he certainly won't be. I mean, that's a difficult incident to call. Looks like Schreier was just ahead of him at the turn-in point, but then Northway gained on turn-in a huge amount, and no, looks like Burke was just there. We got a replay up on screen so you can judge it for yourself. Will be interesting to hear your thoughts on that. Yeah, when they both turned in, Burke was just ahead, but then Northway gained massively towards the apex. But of course, Burke was there on the inside, and it wasn't exactly going to go anywhere. Probably a bit of netcode.
Yeah, you can't really do much about incidents like that. It's just a matter of, I think it's more of a racing incident more than anything else, to be honest.
Yeah. Wait, 5 to go. The gap between Shepherd and Newton is now 6 seconds, so Newton is really going to have to smash out those laps if he wants to catch up to Shepherd by the end of the race. He's almost in his line of sight.
Yeah, he definitely is. He'll be putting a number of qualifying laps together in these last few laps by the looks of it.
Done some fantastic times these last few laps. Obviously, since his 23.9 on lap 22, his last 3 laps have been in the low 24s. So, really pushing it right now.
Yeah, he's definitely getting every tenth he possibly can out of that car.
While Riley Blythe, who is still in the race, is about to get Northway, who is still nursing a heavily damaged car. Such a shame. Such a shame about Robert Northway. Oh, he's having trouble. Front right wheel doesn't look to be pointing in the right direction on Northway's car. Have a look at the amount of steering he's having to hold on the car in a straight line.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of damage on that car.
Well, that is the way the proverbial cookie crumbles, unfortunately. Another 24.2 from Scott Newton on that last lap. While as Chris Lazarevich goes by Chris Burgess. Going to go on board with him on this lap, and you can get a nice tour around the Okayama International Circuit with our race leader. We'll see you in a few minutes. And that is a lap around Okayama from Chris Lazarevich with Evolution Racing Team, a 23.983. Brilliant time there. But meanwhile, the battle for second has really closed up. Scott Newton catching Dylan Shepherd at a rate of knots.
2 to go as well.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. They've got traffic up ahead too.
Yeah. I'd say Dylan will not be letting this one go easily.
Nah, certainly not. Shep's a very competitive guy. He loves his racing. Races karts on occasion as well. So definitely no one to be up against. Newton absolutely smashing the throttle out of that corner, trying to catch up to Shep, but
It's looking like he's in the draft range now.
yeah. This just up ahead of them is the battle for 12th. It's a 3-car battle at the moment. Mark Dean, Brent Parker, and Benny Gill here.
Oh, it's going to be tight. Oh, and Shep's going to go up the middle of the both.
Oh boy!
Oh, Newton's going to get held up here.
Oh dear!
Oh,
Nearly made quarter contact with Parker, but they both managed to get through. Whew. That was heart and mouth. Lazarevich, meanwhile, has started the last lap. Dylan Shepherd making his way past Benny Gill.
a little bit held up there.
Yeah. Paul Gill coming back online for the first turn. Scott Newton is going to get... Ooh.
Oof.
Okay, that was almost rear-end contact. Fortunately, Newton managed to avoid it. See if if this battle can conclude in a constructive way. Down the backstretch they go. Look at Dylan already going defensive, forcing Newton to weave, try and stay in the draft. Gaining ever so slightly. Dylan running wide in the hairpin. But Chris Lazarevich, I mean, what can you say? Yeah, this is once again a matter of staying out of trouble. Chris Lazarevich is going to cross the line to take the win in round 1 of the New Zealand and Australian iRacing Formula Renault 2.0 Championship for Evolution Racing Team. The battle for second, though, still very much not over, but with just a couple of corners to go, I doubt Newton will be able to make any inroads on Dylan Shepherd.
Yeah, he made a minor mistake just earlier through that double hairpin section. He's gone wide as well, so yeah, that cost him quite a bit.
All right, well, there we go. Dylan Shepherd is going to take a very impressive second, and Scott Newton down from first to third. Kurt Stenberg, meanwhile, coming across the line to take fourth. Another textbook example of staying out of trouble. Same with Wayne Burke as well, finishing in 5th place. Griffin Gardner coming across the line. Oh, it looks like McDonald beat Griffin Gardner to 6th place. So Griffin in 7th, Joseph Falcamata in 8th, AJ Bear 9th, and Riley Blythe has managed to stay with it to finish in the top 10, it looks like, but also the last car on the lead lap.
Yeah, and then we go back to Chris Burgess, Benny Gill, Brent Parker, Mark Peter Dean, Rolf Hust, Robert Northway, Fulton Penny, Jack Bell, Emily Jones, Aidan Sinclair, Brock Salmon, Edward Van Velsen, and Jeffrey Harley.
There you go. That's that was quite the race, I have to say.
Yeah, it was actually.
The results are up on screen, of course. We just ran through the field, but you'll be able to take a look at the top 10 once again. Lazarevich, Shepherd, Newton, Stenberg, Burke, McDonnell, Gardner, Falcamata, Bear, and Blythe. That is your top 10. Wow. So that race had pretty much everything. It had huge mistakes. It had heartbreak. It had people taking advantage of others' mistakes, and some really close battles while we were at it. Just wow. I'm not sure quite what to say after all of that. A really fantastic 30 laps at Okayama.
Yeah, it definitely was. A lot of action and a lot of drama and everything. It was quite the race and actually very, very entertaining to watch.
Like we've got drivers coming in for interviews now. I think it's Dylan Shepherd just jumped into the commentary box. Welcome, Dylan. Congratulations on a second place.
Yeah, thanks for that, guys. It was a pretty long race, but yeah, managed to come back from 7th and yeah, stay out of trouble, which yeah led me to 2nd. So yeah, pretty happy with that.
Obviously, there was getting a little bit of mic feedback there, Shep.
Yeah, go. Sorry.
All right, no worries. Yeah, it's looking like I'm hearing myself echo just a little bit. Sorry, Shep. But yeah, you took advantage of quite a few incidents in the top 5. How was that from your perspective? It certainly had its fair share of carnage, especially among the top 5 in like the first third of the race.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I managed to take 3 spots or so off the first lap just on cold tyres. I think just a bit of an advantage. Took them, and then yeah, it just seemed like whenever I got past someone, a crash would happen a couple of corners later. So that was pretty handy, I suppose. But yeah, the racing was good. Everyone was clean on my end, and yeah, a bit of a shame that we weren't in a bit more of a pack for longer in the race.
Well, you must be happy with a second place here at Okayama. Well, similar coming up next week. Obviously, it's a little bit different to Okayama. A lot more open, a lot more, shall we say, Kirby than Okayama. How are your preparations going for that?
Yeah, we'll have to start that later in the week. Yeah, I'd say probably just steal another VRS set and just hopefully it's close enough. Guessing the aero will be a bit more dependent there, a bit more high-speed corners to flow through. So yeah, it should be interesting. I think it'll be a bit more setup dependent than the last few weeks.
All right. Well, we will see you then, Dylan. And yeah, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, mate. Have a good one.
Dylan Shepherd there for One Performance Racing. The next person I think we're going to bring in is Scott Newton, who I just moved into the wrong channel. Welcome, Mr. Newton. Congratulations on your third. You almost got Shepherd at the end.
Yeah, hey, gents. Yeah, definitely trying to push the envelope to get the second place back after a spun on the 4th lap. Heavy battling with the ERT guys, and yeah, definitely had the pace during qualifying, but I unfortunately wasn't able to convert it after a poor start.
Yeah, well, the incidents throughout the field were many and plenty, and we saw you involved in a few prangs yourself. How was the racing out there from your perspective?
Quite feisty, I would say that. Especially in the early going, trying to fight with Chris and Riley, and then coming back through the field, just trying to make my way back through the traffic, just picking my battles, and yeah, just once I got through all the traffic back into the 3rd place after I overtook Kurt, yeah, pretty much my tyres were gone. Even though I managed to pull the 23 quickest lap towards the end of the race, yeah, the tyres were pretty much gone, to be fair.
All right, well, nonetheless, still a very good finish, despite what happened to you throughout the race. I mean, obviously, a 3rd place starting from pole is something that no driver really wants, but you must be happy with a podium to start out the season proper.
Yeah, definitely, especially after what happened today. It's always good to get it off to a decent start. Definitely looking forward to the 3rd round of the championship due to the fact that I'm not here next week due to work commitments. So it's always good to miss Imola due to the fact that this week's the official race, and I raced in the Race Spot Sim Cup as well. So 3 doses of Imola, I would have been sick of the track by probably the end of this week. So yeah, it's always good to miss a week, given that it's at it's the same track for 3 different weeks consecutively. So yeah, definitely looking forward to round number 3.
All right, we'll see you there at Suzuka for round 3 on the 26th of July. Scott, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no worries, cheers, gents.
Next person we should jump into the commentary box with is Chris Lazarevich from Evolution Racing Team. Welcome to the commentary box, Chris, and congratulations on your first place.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Well, that was certainly quite the race. You managed to finish about half a minute ahead of the second place, but yeah, behind you it was really going off.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened back there, but yeah, it seemed like a few people had a problem with this crashing or whatever's happened back there. So yeah, luckily it made it a bit easy for me.
Right, well, obviously a win to start out the season is something you'll be very happy with.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I didn't get much practice in. I sort of only just joined the server 5 minutes beforehand when I found out that the race was on. So yeah, very surprising to get the win.
All right then. Well, certainly you must be looking forward to round 2 then.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'll stay for the long haul for the championship, especially considering it's the first round, which I was just informed. So yeah, good to be in the lead at the moment.
All right. Well, fantastic, Chris. Congratulations once again, and we'll see you at Imola.
Yeah, thanks very much, Jordan. Just like to thank our sponsors, Logitech G and Gel Real Timing. Thanks for supporting ERT and all the guys that help with our setups and run the whole behind the scenes. You do a great job, so thanks a lot.
Brilliant stuff. Chris Lazarevich there, our race winner in the first round of iRacing Formula Renault 2.0 Championship for Australia and New Zealand. And I think the final driver we're going to go to tonight is Mr. Kurt Stenberg. Stenny, a 4th place for you, and wow, what a race it was.
Yeah, mate, I didn't expect to come 4th after starting way back in 14th, but I managed to avoid all the carnage out there.
Yeah, it's I actually mentioned when you crossed the line, it was a prime case of staying out of trouble. I noticed that Emily got involved in a fair smash early on in the race, so that must have been disappointing.
Yeah, she was not very happy with that one, but that's what happens in racing, so it's just unfortunate. Yeah, I did see that happen in front of me, but yeah, that was just the case of it, just staying out of trouble. I mean, I didn't have the pace of the front guys, but if you can just avoid everything that happens around you and be consistent, you can end up the front, so...
Very nice. Obviously counts for a lot in these open wheelers. Well, next round, obviously at Imola, it's quite the interesting circuit, Imola, especially in these single-seater cars. Lots of straights, lots of fast corners, multiple drafting opportunities. What are your thoughts going into round 2?
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. I'm sort of going in blind to all these tracks because I haven't raced open wheelers at pretty much any of them, so it'll be interesting. I found out this track's quite a bit different to race in than in the V8, so I'll probably find the same next round.
Yeah, it is a little strange seeing you in a single-seater, Stenny. You're definitely more of a sports cars and touring cars guy, knowing you. So obviously, to come out with a 4th place in the first round of the season proper, it's obviously a good start.
Yeah, I'm quite happy. So we'll just keep seeing how we can go.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us, Stenny, and we'll see you next round.
No worries. See you then. Thanks for the broadcast.
And I believe that that brings to a conclusion our broadcast for now. Cameron, it was a real fantastic race to start off the season.
Yeah, indeed it was, and hopefully it continues on through the rest of the season.
Yes, indeed. Well, we'll definitely be still here on V8's Online next week, but we've still got a few broadcasts yet to come up. Tomorrow night we've got the IMSA Sports Car Championship, the Australia-New Zealand split at 8:45 Australian Eastern Standard Time on Thursday night, and then on Sunday we've got the V8 Supercar Online Premiere Series to bring to you. So we'll be looking forward to that, and then obviously we've got Monday night V8 Supercars as well. So big packed schedule at the moment here at V8's Online, and we hope you join us for that. Make sure that you like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube to be notified of any future broadcasts. Well, thank you very much for watching. My name is Reese Gardner. Joining me in the commentary box was Cameron Dance. Directing was Jay Kennedy. You've been watching the New Zealand and Australian iRacing Formula Renault 2.0 Championship on V8's Online. We'll see you next time.